Hello, Consensys trainer. This is Juan Guerrero Carmona from Mexico. I'm here for my training in Smart Contract Developer Exam, which have this part about doing a smart contract with an use of case, and we need to develop a smart contract, deploy it, test it, and deploy it on the mainnet. As a first part, I will show you my document about what my use case is about, and also I will describe my implementations in Remix, which is where I program everything. So let's start with. In one big case or problem in Mexico is cell phone stealing. I mean, most of the people here have suffered at least once a theft. And most of the time is in public transportation. Since in law in Mexico and some problems with lawyers and stuffs, it's really easy for bad people to go away with any punishment about it, no? So most of them stole the cell phones and resell it in streets or markets, public markets, and they get profit about it. I state some numbers about the true facts about this with the reference. So in my case, I would like to implement a really small example about what can we do about cell phone traceability and immutability in blockchain as a subsystem of already existing systems of telephonic companies. So what are we going to do? We're going to develop a smart contract as a service that allow any company to offer small cellular customers a really small contract about buying cell phone, get insurances about it, register their phones with a specific identification number called IMA. I know that this in real life can be changed, but in the use of this exercise, it will be immutable. Another condition will be that there will be an insurance about these cell phones that if the user returns, he will get a small amount of money back in order to use the system and keep going and trace these cell phones steps. And the last part, the one I think it gives value to this exercise, is that anyone can check the email number. So if the email is reported as a theft cell phone, it will be recognized. So what functionalities are we expecting to have? Obviously the builder, the constructor, registration of a telephone provider. I mean, like a smart contract which is used as a service provider, there will be a registration about this one. It will be AT&T, Movistar, whatever. Another instance is external. We use it, the word in the course, as Oracle, which provide true about what happened with the user who states that their cell phone were stolen. Also, we will have a cell phone purchase method, which allow the user to get a phone and register his address. He will be able to purchase an insurance also. We will check the insurance status, certification of theft. I mean, when the theft occurs, the user will come with this instance. It's not something they will trigger in the smart contract. It's something that another instance will have to do. And if they state that the theft is occur in the proper ways, I mean, in Mexico, you don't get paid if the thefts didn't use violence. I mean, you can state I got stole, but there's no evidence about it. Somehow you have to fight back to prove. Also, we stated some default methods like income funds, withdrawal funds. We added return equipment. This is kind of implementation of let the users keep in the system. I mean, it's not just about buy the cell phone. It's about trace the cell phone even when it's not useful anymore to the user. Also, we can determine see if the stolen cell phone is in our database. I mean, we have a little array that stores those email, but those are most of the functionalities that we want to. Of change element, well, most of the information of the user, name, surname, age, address, information of the phone will be left behind, since most of the information must be on normal databases, because it's most of the stuff that we save there. Contract clauses, telephone information, and most other stuff. And at the last part of the document, I state biography, where I get my information about Mexican theft, percentage, and stuff. So let's start with, I will close this thing. And I will explain the code on Remix, which is pretty nice for me. I call the contract Telefónica, which in Mexico refers to the companies of telephone services. We start with an address for the owner of the contract, an address for an oracle, which provides true about the theft, a compañía, it's a letter ñ in español, but it means who provides the secure. I mean, AT&T, Movistar, whatever. I also state some variables in order to set the cell phone cost and insurance cost, which can be moved if anyone want to do it. Well, he will have to deploy it. Also, we state an event in order to print messages in order to debug. Also, we have the two structures. One for the user. I mean, I'm mapping address with contratantes, which only will have the number of phones that the users have. We create another structure called telephone in order that the user will have not just one telephone. It can have any number, and they will have their specific characteristics, email, cost, state of theft, or etc. Forget my bad English. Then we have two arrays about our clients, and a small array of stolen telephones. So we can have a really fast access in order to query these arrays. We defined three modifiers, one for only owner methods, one for Oracle, and one for company. They just help us to limitate the functionalities of some code, like we don't have anyone to have the opportunity to change the Oracle or change the company, so just the owner will be able to do it. So let's get started. The constructor, we just set the owner, which is the person who deploys the contract. Maybe it cannot be playable. I will change it in some seconds. Then we state some default options, which is at the fondos, which I actually use to put money on the smart contract, and we just state a little message about they were sent. Also, we have another public function about check the current money or balance in the contract. which anyone can review in order to state that the smart contract is still able to pay them. We have another default functionality that is withdraw money that we just call subtract fund simply, where you state the amount of money you want to withdraw, and only the owner will be able to pay and to take it. Well, now we start with the hard functions. We found in this option in order to use this, we have to do some things before, but I will explain this first. When a user tries to find a phone, you came to the store, you pay with real money, or in this case with cryptocurrency, but in any moment you open the cell phone, you got it, and you check the code bar, in this case the email. So when you open it, you have to get the email. Imagine that you are in front of that person, both of you open it and start the register process. So you got the email, you state your wallet address, and also the person in the front of you will state how much it costs. So we have these variables and we send it to the function. Then we start some small validations. Most of the email, so at least as far as I know, the email must be a 55 characters long. So we check this. We also check that the function is called with a valid buyer. You cannot register to the empty address. And also we state that you pay the cost of the phone, that you have to send it in the message. Then we initialize the number of phones variable, which is in the first structure that we create, which is contratantes. I don't assume that it's empty, so I as far as I check, it starts with really long numbers, so I don't think it will be used that much. So if the number is too long, I will restart it to 0. And in the case of the use of this example, I don't think we will reach that much numbers. Then we start initializing with those variables. I mean, the email is passed in the function. And also we state if the user already get their money of the insurance, if the user is insured, if the user cell has been stalled yet. 0 means it's nothing's happening. Number 1 is you got stolen with violence, and number 2 is you got stolen without violence. So we declare those states. Also, we got cost, which is the how much you paid for the cell phone. Once we got all these variables declared, we state that we got another phone for the principal structure, and in the case that this buyer never had buy a cellular with us, we check about it and push it in a right call clients that we stated before. I defined a small iteration function which is called isClient. It's kind of forward, but I will explain it. It's about I don't want to have duplicate clients with the same address, so I check about it, and in the case that the user already exists, I don't register anymore. Well, I used some function that I kind of don't program because I consult and get how to do it. This is one of them. Check the length of a string. I got it on the internet. I didn't program it, sorry. But it helped me to solve this specific problem about get the number of characters in a string. There was another one about byte occupation, but it didn't work very well, and this one was very effective. So I bring it here and I use it. Another thing is, as far as we are getting clients on and pushing them in the array, they are getting stated in the contract. So we have a public view function that shows them to our clients. We just specify their address. We don't reveal any private information, so it's kind of safe. Then we have another function called getClientPhoneInfo, which is, with this option, you can get information about the user. This one used to be just Telefonica or provider only, but at the end I decided to let it public just for educational purposes, but it properly should be only Telefonica in order to protect the information. We had the code, it's just about edit, but I want to show you that the streams are getting saved in the arrays properly. So we got just the information return. Most of them are bools, but we have two cases, which is the email is a string and the asegurado is an int. About the classification, I already stated. It's robado, which I specify you have been theft, you got theft with violence and without violence, with the numbers 0, 1, and 2. Stolen. See, sorry, it's stolen. Well, another example, the next function is getClientNumberPhones. It helps me to know how many phones the user already registered. So we got it in a public function. Then we have the set function. These ones must be operating in the code. I will put them before send it, but you have to define who will be the oracle and who will be the provider, technical provider, in order to all the code to work. Then we got isClient. I already explained it, and isSolve. With this function, I think it still is about getting high. I think this is still. Well, with this function, we can get we can search with the email if the phone that you maybe are trying to buy or you are getting from someone else have some report of being dropped. So you can take decisions and make something about it if you want to. It's not about that the blockchain will punish you, but that's the purpose of this. After this, we got a compare string, a little function I use in order to check if the email that you state is on the list of stolen cell phones. So we hash the email got, and we try to see if those emails are equal. And it's how we prove that they are or not in the right. Then we have the devolution function. The user can get back their cell phones to the company and gets a little bit in money about how much they spend. So if they have some condition must be met. One, the company must be set, the client must exist, and the cell phone shouldn't be devuelto, get back, or stolen. So if all of those conditions are met, you state the get back, return it condition true, and you transfer to the user some part of the money they spent. Then we have the oracle function. We call it peritaje robo. Some words in Spanish to say someone who check if what you state is true or you're lying. So you say your address, you state the position in the array of cell phones that you got, well, in the mapping, and what's the resolution of the peritaje. The peritaje, or the revision about if you were stolen with violence or without violence, is outside the chain. We cannot put that in here. It will be too complicated. So we expect that the person responsible for this will come with the solution or the conclusion about the investigation process, and will state their results. It's only limited to Oracle and also is Bible, in order to be as fast as possible for the user to get their money back. So we checked if the Oracle is used. We check if the phone hasn't been returned. We check if you are our client. We also check if you had insurance. You cannot get a insurance if you don't, money. You will not get money back since you didn't pay the insurance. And also we check if you already used your insurance. And after this, we have the two solutions. One, you got a theft with violence, which is the first step, and you get your money. And in the second case, you will notice that you are kind of lying, or maybe you just lose your phone, which is not about violence or get theft. So we state the variables and we save this information, but we don't give you the money back. We also state, since you are letting us know that someone stole your phone, maybe not in the most violent ways, but we state that the phone was robbery, so we push it to the robados array. And at the end, we have the get sell insurance. It's a function about buying the insurance. You as a user, you got access to it, and anyone, and you have to we check some conditions. First, that the phone that you're trying to get insurance hasn't been retrieved. The phone that the message you're sending in order to get the insurance had the proper amount of money to pay it, and also that in this case specifically, we get that the contract had enough money to pay you if they had to. You don't want to get I don't know how to say it. You cannot pay any insurance if the smart contract doesn't have the proper amount of money. So we don't take your money if we don't check that the smart contract is ready for you to take this insurance. Then we got the function about checking that you send the proper amount of money. And at the end, we have validation about if you didn't have already insurance. And if all those conditions get okay and we pass them all, you get your insurance, we discount you with a specific amount of money, and we retrieve you if you pay more than what the insurance costs, we give you your money back. The part that the difference. Sorry, don't say how to say. So let's get and use it. Well, we have to deploy this contract. We will start creating. I state that the last one will be the owner, and the first one will be my Telefonica. So I just move to the address and copy it, and then get back to the owner and state. I will set the Oracle first. So I made the transaction, and we check, and it's okay. Then the second one will be the telephone provider, which is this one. We copy the address, get back to the owner, and we state the Telefónica, and everything is okay. So we're ready to buy a cell phone. So we choose the third one as a client. So let's go and buy a phone. We state that our buyer variable will be our address. Email will be the number of characters that we declare. Most of them are numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 50. And also we provide the cost of the cell phone. I don't have any yet. I will state a number. And we do the transaction. As you can see, everything went okay. No, we have an issue. The issue was that we didn't pay for the cell phone, which already cost 1.2 solid. So let's do it again. Let's get again the buyer. Buyer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the cost. We do the transaction. We get it okay. And the contract got their value. Now, as an owner, or no, as a Telefónica, let's check what's happening. We got a client, we got a balance, and we can start get the information of this phone. Let's see, address. The user with this address and position 0 have this email, let me see, it didn't yet get an insert. His state of still stolen, whatever. Phone is 0, which means it hasn't been installed yet. Hope so. Also, we check that it didn't have yet buy insurance, and at least it didn't return his cell phone, so we start putting an insurance. As I can see, you can check if this image yet is stolen. Still, let's check. No, it's a clean cell phone. I don't know if there's a word specific for this. So let's get an insurance. You have to be in the account of the user you are trying to get the insurance, and you have to pay for the insurance. You state that your cell phone in position 1 will get an insurance, and the cost of insurance is this one. You make the transaction and check again the insurance state. Let's do it. Let me see, I probably do it wrong. Let's see. So now we see that we got an insurance because this variable changed to true. And now we are going to say that we were stalled. Sadly. Or let's buy another phone. We paid for the phone. So let's do it. We take another email. I have to count 15, so 15, so and this one will cost, and we paid for it. So let's do the transaction, and we will check this user's information and see how many funds he had. Client number of funds. We use it, and the user already have 2 funds because we bought them. Let's check the information of the first one. It's the one that we already tried, but what about the second one? It has its own email and it doesn't have an insurance. So now let's get install our first cell phone. So it happens outside in the real world. So we came to the specific authorities and they state that we have a theft with, let's see, with violence. So let's do it. We see that this person got his cell phone number 0, which has insurance installed, and also this must be executed by the Oracle, which is this one. So let's say that, yeah, he was stolen. How much money does this one have? It ends in 59. Let's do it. Let me see. I pick up the wrong column. Is this one? Let's do it again. Again, cell phone number 0 of the person with this number, and he got properly account 55. We got the transaction. Oh, I'm getting confused with the Oracle. Let's do it again. Oracle. This one. Let's check. Maybe I'm getting confused with it. No, this is correct. This one is the 0. True. Only Oracle. What are we? What is happening here? Let's set again our Oracle. Somehow it's getting stuck. So I will say that the last one is the Oracle. I need a function in order to state who's the Oracle. So so this one is Telefonica. Oracle is this one. So now Telefonica and Oracle are the same person. So let's do our exercise. Madre. True. Reason. Telefónica. Let's see. I will check it. You can check who's the owner by trying this. Okay, this one is the owner. Because just the added fondos is available for the owner. So this one will declare that I I think this one is the Oracle. Let's try again. Oracle. Okay. Seems like the Oracle is our true. Sorry, I got a little bit confused about the address bus. Because as you can see, Oracle got an amount of ether since he got his phone state. That must be allowed, but in this case it happened. So let's check the phone information. So in this case, we declare that our phone with this number got stolen with violence. So we got our money back, some part. And we already have our variable cover stated true. So we cannot get this money back again. And what happens if we put this email on the is still function? It will tell us that this number was stolen and you shouldn't get it with you. So, and now in order to finish this exercise, I will use the function devolver. Remember that we have two cell phones. I will return the second one, which I will have it with this one. Our current already have ends with 86. Let's use the function. Invalid address. I didn't open this one. Let's do it again. Devolver address. Didn't say one. Yes. Yes. Since you got money back from the company that insured you the insurance, I limited that must be Telefonica, the only one that can call this function. So let's do it that way. So this person want money back from his first cell phone, you got 95. But now we change to the Telefonica account, which is the second one. Sorry, the second one. Uno. Okay. Damn it. I think it's the first one. Only Telefonica. I think it was the. Let's check who's. I need to state an option about letting you know who's Telefonica, because got a mess. Set Telefonica can only be. No, it's about devolver. Okay, this one is this is Telefonica. So we will get this one back by Telefonica, and we hope that this user will get more money. Up for it. Devolver. Okay, so he got like 30, 34 kind of. So this is my implementation. There are another functions that are kind of normal, it's client, but these are the important parts. So I will try to make a video about the uploading to the mainnet. I just need my Ethereum to get synchronized, but I will do it a little bit later. So this is all for now. Thank you very much.